What's up? Uh, well, the next little project I did was um, removing all the OEM brake fluid. All right. And adding a stainless steel braided brake line all the way down to the OEM caliper and the OEM rotor. Now, the brakes work pretty good originally. But whenever I, came to a hard break, like real hard, like you were doing on the track, the felt a little, you know, extra squeeze necessary to stop the bike. So I decided to slap on a new banjo bolt on the bottom, new washers, crush washers. I wasn't really too concerned with the size, so I just used the 1.26 ones I had. I got tons of different sizes, all the way up to a brand new single banjo bolt. The OEM Japanese threaded banjo bolt. I got a bunch of them laying around. I got all different kinds of threads. So then I put this fluid in, what I usually run. RBF 600 by Motul barely takes any of this stuff. It holds like nothing. So like one bottle is plenty. And this thing stops like a beast. I mean, it took a little trick to get the air to come out. It took me 2-3 times to actually get it to bleed nice. That when there's no movement in the lever now. I mean, like that is like full on stop. Okay, if you're going over the front if you pull this back. Now, the master cylinder is pretty good. I'm just going to leave it like that for right now before I throw on a Brembo, because I know my 600, I threw a Brembo on there, and that's just a whole different ball game. This bike's not that fast for a Brembo at the point, But what I did was I drained the fluid, took the caliper off, left the rotor on, then I basically gave it a bath, degreased it, cleaned up the slider rails here, re-greased them. Okay, took out the pins, never seized them because, oh my God, if you're on the track and you got to get them out and they're stuck, you're screwed. Never seized them up just a little bit, not too much. You can see I got some still on there. Never seizes like you use like a little bit. It's all over your face. It's everywhere. Stuff's like impossible to really control. Re-greased the caliper, put it all back together. And it does, surprisingly, this one rotor, this 400, this thing stops pretty good. I mean, it could be better with 2 rotors, but it's a 400. It's a little bike. Opposed to my 600, which stops a hell of a lot better. But for this bike, it stops good. And upgrading the stainless steel brake line, and this is just a leftover brake line that I had. I just threw it on there for my 600. They're all about somewhat the same, and it kind of looks a little funky coming off, like it pokes out a little bit. But it works. So far, so good. It's coming along. Then what I did was the rotor looked kind of, crappy. So and it doesn't really have any play in it. Like, check this out. The Brake Tech ones have a crap ton of play. Look at that. I like that. Okay. And the braking rotors here have a different kind of play. It's just, these are Italian. This is a braking wheel. This thing's sick. But this braking wheel is the rotors are kind of thinner compared to the Brake Tech. The USA ones are way better. They're stainless steel. I didn't get the iron ones. I don't want rust all over my garage. Plus, I don't, go to track that often to get rusty ones, and get the iron ones, which have a higher coefficient of friction. Yeah, so far so good. I'm pleased with it. Like I said, I'm building this bike for my kid, and I got a bunch of boys coming up. They're gonna, eventually get on it. Didn't get the tires yet, but I'm gonna keep these on. I'm gonna show them how to ride it around first. But yeah, so definitely recommend stainless steel brake line. It does take a little bit of practice bleeding them out. I don't use anything special. I just use a rubber tube right here. This right here. just from a regular brake kit. You don't even need this piece. I just had this on there because the tube kept falling off the bleeder, so I put it on there. I don't use a vacuum. You can hook up a vacuum to it, but I just do it by feel, and by feel is the best way. If you don't feel it's right, it's not stopping right. I'm just a brake guy. I love doing brakes. I understand them, and this thing stops really good. If you're not new to doing brakes, sure as shit, you better get someone to help you do it. You know, I did hear of a guy did the brakes himself, and whoops, bike wouldn't stop, full speed into a turn, and just kept going straight. So yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching.